In this video, I'm going to share 5 simple food swaps that you can make in order to continue enjoying the food you love while getting healthier and potentially even losing weight. And before diving into it today, if you're looking for more awesome ways to simplify the process of getting healthy, improving your fitness, and just being a better human, tap that subscribe button, tap that like button, and click that bell icon to be notified when we release new videos. With that being said, let's get into it. Hey, my name is Sky. I'm the founder of SkyFit, where we help people lose weight and build muscle while continuing to enjoy the foods they love and not restricting themselves in any way. We have a very simple approach that we teach. It's a combination of fasting, which helps you basically cut down on calories while improving your health and improving the way you feel, improving your metabolism, as well as upgrading your ingredients, which is making food swaps that allow your body to respond in a healthier way, which will increase your metabolism, reduce hunger, and basically simplify the process of you actually getting healthy. And so that's kind of the topic we're going to talk about in these videos. 5 simple swaps that you can make right now that will allow you to continue to eat the food you love while dropping weight. And this is the info that's helped myself as well as my clients continue to love their life while burning fat and building muscle. And one last thing before we dive into it, if you notice I said 5 more ingredients. We have a couple other videos on this topic which you can find in the description of this video. You just click those links and you'll be taken there. But with that being said, let's get into it. Food item number 1 are chips. Now, chips are one of those things that you can kind of grab at any time during the day and snack on. And if you are an avid snacker of chips, there's a lot of different swaps you can make. So first and foremost, I will only eat chips if it's with a fat or a protein. Usually the only times I'll have chips is chips and salsa right before or during dinner. And the problem with most chips is that not only are they using very processed and inflammatory ingredients, but they're also extremely devoid of nutrients. And so when we want to find chips, we want to look for chips that are extremely clean. Now, what you're going to find with the standard Lay's chips or even, organic tortilla chips is that most tend to use very inflammatory oils, whether it's sunflower oil, canola oil, soybean oil, and these oils have the potential to reduce your metabolism as well as increase hunger. And so there's something that we do want to avoid. Now, I've looked a lot on the market for chips, and it seems like the only chips that I found that don't use these inflammatory oils are cassava chips. Cassava chips tend to use more of the coconut oil when it comes to oil, and cassava, which is a starch, but it's also something that's a little bit more nutritious for the body than, say, a corn or potato chip. If you can't find cassava, because they can be a little bit difficult to find, I find mine from Costco or Thrive Market. You can also go for the downgrade, which is the organic corn tortilla chips. They're not the best. They usually will use the inflammatory oils, but it's better than doing something like a Lay's or a standard processed chip. So that's food item number 1. We're going to stick with the snack theme for food item 2, which is popcorn. Now, popcorn is also one of those other snacks that gets a bad rap, but I actually think popcorn can be a good snack if you use it the right way, and of course you choose the right option. And so what you're going to find with most generic popcorns is they're either going to use those inflammatory oils, the palm oil, canola oil, soybean oil, or even worse, they may use hydrogenated oil. So a hydrogenated oil is basically an oil that's extremely processed to the point where it's not just a saturated fat, but it's a trans fat. And trans fats are basically converted directly to body fat. And so you'll look at the label and it'll say 0 grams of trans fat, because if something has 0.4 grams or less per serving, they can actually write 0. But what you can find is you look at the ingredients, and if it's hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oil, basically there's trans fats in there. You got 2 options here. So number 1 is look for a clean popcorn that's just using something standard like a olive oil or a butter. The butter end is going to be a little less because usually the butter they use is less nutritious. If you are looking for that option, they do have some olive oil popcorn at Trader Joe's. But honestly, my go-to is I get organic popping corn that's not popped. I pop it myself. All you got to do is put it in a pan or cast iron, cover it, put a little oil in there and shake it up as it pops. And then I just cover it with grass-fed butter and salt myself. I'll have this every few weeks just for movie time or whenever I'm hanging out, because it isn't the worst. It's obviously not the most nutrient filled, but if you are having popcorn once a week or you're going out to a movie or anything like that, making it yourself or finding ones with high quality ingredients is obviously going to be a much smarter choice long term. Food number 3 are pancakes. Now, pancakes is kind of one of those foods that get a very bad rap as being super unhealthy, and I agree that most standard pancakes that you find in the store are unhealthy. They usually use things like enriched bleach flour or processed wheat flour, which basically has the nutritious part of the wheat taken out. So the tasty part of the wheat is the only thing that's left. Spikes your blood sugar, doesn't give you the nutrients, so it causes you to crave out more food. But at the same time, I also understand that pancakes are delicious. So you have a couple options here. If you want to buy pre-bought, there's a couple brands out there that are really good. The 2 that came to mind for me were Simple Mills and Birch Bender. They both have some pretty solid ingredients in there. If you are browsing around, just try to find the ones that that don't use a processed wheat flour, and if they do use wheat flour, make sure it's organic. Otherwise, go for something that uses a cassava flour or an almond flour or really any other flour that's not coming from wheat. The second option, which is what I do, is I make my homemade pancakes. Now, I put a recipe on my Instagram, which you can go check out. It's in the reel section, but basically I'll mix either a cassava blend, which is a bag that you can pre-buy from Trader Joe's, or an almond flour with your standard ingredients. So pastured eggs, almond flour, you can do vanilla extract. I'll add protein powder in there to get some protein powder and basically mix those ingredients. And by doing this, not only is it not just carbs, you're adding protein, you're adding healthy fats, but it's also real ingredients that aren't processed that won't slow your metabolism. And so right now I'm on a pancake kick where pretty much every single night I'll have dinner and then I have a bunch of pancakes that are pre-made in my refrigerator that I'll heat up. I'll throw some real maple syrup, some fresh berries in there, and I'll enjoy it at night with no guilt or no stress because it's nutritious for me. So that is number 3. Before we go any further, I'd love if you could leave me a comment below. What is your biggest food or drink right now that's your weakness when it comes to losing weight? I'll do my best to see if I can give you a recommendation of how to upgrade that food to still be able to enjoy it while on your fitness journey. But with that being said, food, or I should say item because it's a drink, number 4 is soda. Now, soda obviously gets a bad rap, whether it's the soda that has a ton of real sugar or it's the soda that has artificial sugar. Now, there seems to be this diet trend going on right now where a lot of fitness influencers are saying diet soda is okay because it uses aspartame, which has 0 calories, and apparently the studies haven't shown anything in small amounts of how aspartame can be connected to things like cancer. My thing here is if it's fake, it's not good for you. Okay, what a lot of artificial sweeteners end up doing because there's 0 calories is your body thinks it's getting something with calories because it's sweet. And so when it doesn't, it goes into overdrive to find more. And this is pretty obvious because there's a lot of people out there who are chemically addicted to Diet Coke, who struggle going a day or more without Diet Coke. Along with that, aspartame is 200 times sweeter than sugar. And so pretty much guaranteed that your taste buds are going to adjust and you're not going to be able to enjoy real natural sugar as much anymore. I've had clients who have been eating all these processed sugars and are addicted. And as soon as they start implementing what we teach, they find that they no longer even like the taste of the artificial stuff because their taste buds have literally transformed to enjoying the real food again, the real sugar. There's also studies out there that have connected aspartame to a 34% increased risk of metabolic syndrome and a 20% increased risk for heart attack. And then also to make it, they actually use cheap ingredients like menthol. So this video is not aspartame, but I thought it was important to mention because I get a lot of flack for saying that artificial sweeteners are not good for weight loss. But that's the thing, right? With soda, you're getting a lot of sugar, you're getting a lot of artificial sweeteners. And so rather than just cutting it out completely, why not make smarter choices? And again, you have a couple options here. So I've had clients in the past who made a swap and it was super simple for them. They just go to sparkling water. They go to something like LaCroix or any of those other brands, which if I'm being honest, I'm not a huge fan of, but it is leagues better than soda. The other option is there are some companies out there that actually make healthy sodas. I found one at Whole Foods a couple weeks ago called Mad Vine and literally tastes pretty much exactly like a Coke, and it's all natural, all clean ingredients, and it uses natural 0 calorie sweeteners. So I think they used monk fruit in that one, which don't impact the body as much as those artificial sweeteners. Again, still not the best. Still, I'd prefer you to drink water, as you probably know, but if you are looking to make those swaps, there's better options out there that are a lot more nutritious for you. So that is food number 4, and the final food that we're going to talk about today are roasted nuts. Now, what you're going to find with most roasted nuts out there is that they are usually roasted in inflammatory oils like corn oil. Sometimes it's peanut oil, sometimes it's canola oil, soybean oil. Whatever it is, getting those fats in our diet is not healthy for our metabolism and it's not healthy for our hunger cravings. And so when you're buying nuts, you have a couple options, but ideally you just buy them raw. If you like the taste of them when they're roasted, you can just throw them in the oven yourself, potentially adding your own healthy oils. And if you wanted to take it even a step further, I would personally go with almonds. There's a study out there where participants were given the same exact foods, and one group had a quarter cup of almonds a day, split up into twice a day, and they lost double the amount of weight than the control group. So no, that's not the end of the world if you're eating other nuts besides almonds, but that's just another choice or option for you to maybe make a smarter decision. And then, of course, if you're getting like a clean Redmond salt or a Himalayan sea salt, you can just mix that with your nuts yourself. It's a way to have that raw nut that's a little more nutritious, that's not as processed, and still be able to enjoy that flavor and that taste. So those are the 5 foods I got for you today. I just wanted to say, this is kind of a process of learning, and I'm hoping that you're starting to understand and get how you can make just slightly smarter decisions and see really impressive results with your weight loss. I've had clients come through our program before and say they literally think it shouldn't be as easy as it is to drop the amount of weight that they were dropping. And that's how it should be. If it's done done right, this should feel like a more effortless part of the process for you. But with that being said, if you are interested in learning more about our process and potentially even working with me directly, make sure you check the link in the description of this video. We got a free training there for you of basically laying out our process and why it's so much more effective than calorie counting or restrictive dieting or really any of these other diets out there that just make it hard and kind of make life a little sucky while you're doing them. So check that out, but of course make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're looking for more awesome health content. Tap that like button, tap that bell icon to be notified when we release new videos. And of course, I appreciate you. So as always, make sure to eat smart, move more, sleep deep, and be grateful for this moment. I'll see you in the next video.